Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 8th of October, and this is your news today. Coming up, Gaza peace talks to continue as Israelis and Palestinians mark 2 years since the war began. Plus, bombshell rumours Oscar Piastri has his sights set on leaving McLaren. And Taylor Swift on why she's yet to play the Super Bowl halftime show.
Hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters have rallied in Sydney 2 years since the October 7 attacks. Let's go live to today's Sydney reporter Jack Harm. Jack, good morning to you. Speakers slammed Trump's 20-point peace plan.
Yeah, that and all of this happening, as you pointed out, 2 years to the day since the October 7 terror attack was taking place in Bankstown in a busy park, smack bang in the middle of the suburb. Hundreds of people turning out for this event happening in the late evening last night. There were people even on horseback riding around there with pro-Palestinian flags, many people coming with posters and placards and a myriad of messages firmly in the firing line in terms of the condemnation and the criticism from those in attendance was the US President Donald Trump. That is because of the proposed peace plan that he has put together. Some there in the crowd describing him as the devil. Carl.
Jack, police and Jewish leaders are also trying to stop another protest.
Yeah, that's correct. And that protest being held right behind me there at the Opera House as the sun comes up here. Obviously, it's an icon of Sydney, an icon of the country and the world. And it's right there where pro-Palestinian protesters want to have a massive march over the weekend. Now, to have any type of event, full stop, at the Opera House, it takes a lot of planning and it takes a lot of approvals. Now, that's what the Premier and the police are pointing out this morning. They're saying that you can't just necessarily have something there right away. And the reason and the thing they're drawing attention to is crowd control there. Now, the Palestine Action Group says, well, look, we've had major concerts there. So if you can have a concert there, you can have a protest. Now, they are drawing attention to concerts that were held in the late 1990s. Now, it won't be up to the Premier or the police or the protesters. It'll be up to the Appeals Court of New South Wales. 2 judges today hearing this matter, and they'll also be getting advice, not from people here in New South Wales, but actually Attorney Generals in Queensland, right across the country, even in WA, every single state and territory. Their Attorney General will have an opportunity to weigh in on the matter. Carl.
All right, Jack. Thank you.
Israel is marking 2 years since the October 7 attacks when Hamas militants stormed the border, killing around 1,200 people and taking more than 250 hostages. Live now to Nine's Europe correspondent Mimi Becker in London. Mimi, while that all takes place, a deal to end the war in Gaza is being discussed.
Jane, it is. It's now the second day of these peace deal negotiations in Cairo as representatives try to secure the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Now, at the same time, people have been gathering at the Nova Music Festival site and Hostages Square in Tel Aviv to pay tribute to the lives lost. Memorials there with photos and flowers, as well as people ask for the release of the remaining hostages. Now, these peace talks are ongoing and Gazan residents say they are remaining cautiously optimistic while still reporting that there are daily bombings happening in Gaza. Jane.
Mimi, thank you. A building renovation in Spain has ended in disaster with multiple stories of a 5-level structure collapsing in Madrid. 3 construction workers have been injured and 4 others remain trapped beneath the rubble. Rescue crews are still searching for those missing. A medical helicopter has crashed in California, leaving 3 people fighting for their lives. A pilot, a nurse and a paramedic were on board when the chopper came down on a highway in Sacramento. One of the passengers was trapped under the wreckage at first. Emergency crews then wrangling a group of commuters to help lift the aircraft and free the patient.
Plans for a major $2 billion revamp of the MCG have been unveiled with new bars, pubs and restaurants. Let's go live to Today Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn at the MCG. Chris, good morning to you. Capacity will also be boosted.
Carl, it would be increased from 100,000 to 105,000, which would make it the 5th biggest stadium in the world. Under this ambitious revamp, basically the Shane Warne stand, previously known as the Great Southern Stand, would be knocked down and rebuilt in stages with new pubs, restaurants and skyline bars. A glass facade would replace the concrete walls. As for who would pay for this massive revamp, well, that would be money from the federal government and Victorian government, as well as the AFL, Cricket Australia and the MCC. But the Victorian government alone would have to chip in around $1 billion. Carl.
Sure where they'll find that. Thanks, Chris. It was a glowing treat for stargazers last night. Aussies who took their eyes to the skies caught the first supermoon of 2025 with plenty of onlookers soaking up the view from the nation's best vantage points. The October harvest moon appears super when a full moon swings closer to Earth, making it look bigger and brighter than usual. Thanks, Dr. Carl. And if you missed it, don't worry, another supermoon is set to rise next month on November 5. And are Aussies lusting for love or money? Which is it? Well, it could be the latter. A new study revealing we're choosing partners on bank balance over romance. Oh, the Finder survey finding 3.6 million Australians are financially motivated on their quest to find love. What? And while that research didn't differ between genders, the study did find women entered relationships with far less savings than men, and it's Gen Z who are most likely to date for financial security. Show me the money, Jane.
Well, one person who has a lot of it, Taylor Swift, has had fans singing their hearts out and on their feet after an appearance on US late-night TV. Live now to our US correspondent, Jonathan Kersley, who's singing along to it all this morning. Jono, she's also lifted the lid on speculation around a Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, she has. I don't think she's got an issue when it comes to finding love where the money was a factor there. She's certainly very wealthy indeed. But last night on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, it was lifting the lid on her album and music, and also speculation around a Super Bowl halftime show, why she hasn't appeared, addressing speculation that she had rejected to do so because of issues around ownership of the footage. She says, no, that's simply not the case. She's just been too busy focused on watching her fiancé, Travis Kelce, play American football itself. He's obviously a Super Bowl champion himself. But she also lifted the lid on love, the engagement, the ring again, and said she did forget to tell her superstar friend Ed Sheeran that she'd become engaged. Apparently, he found out like everybody else through the world of Instagram. She explains why right here.
He doesn't have a phone, and this is like one thing I love about him. It's very eccentric. Love it. But when I'm going through being like, hey, like, you know, hey, who
all my
should we call?
peeps.
Who should we FaceTime? I'm going through my texts and being like, who have I texted within the last like month of my life? And he just wasn't there.
Ed Sheeran doesn't have a phone. He might be the only person in humanity as an adult who doesn't, Jane.
He even wrote a song about his old one, didn't he, Jono? Thank you.
Trumpy doesn't have a phone either, according to Albo.
I think that's been debunked, that myth, hasn't it? Has it?
None of the cool kids have phones. Well, their relationship got off to a shaky start with tariff announcements and the threat of making Canada the 51st state of America. But today, US President Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney have met at the White House, vowing they would continue to work towards a trade deal which benefits both countries. The pair admitted there is a level of competition between neighbours, but Mr Trump insisted the people of Canada will love us again. Anne Hathaway and global fashion mogul Donatella Versace have been spotted strutting the streets of Milan on the set of the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. The actress was in top-to-toe black, while the fashion designer sported a royal blue blazer. The film is set to hit screens in May next year.
And this is massive news. Swiss newspaper Blick is reporting Oscar Piastri could incredibly leave McLaren after the next F1 season.
Yeah, the Australian is on an undisclosed multi-year deal, but his people are rumoured to be less than pleased at how team bosses are favouring Lando Norris. And they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Piastri leads the drivers' standings ahead of the United States Grand Prix next weekend.
He probably needs to win, and then he can do whatever he wants.
I hope he does. Stick it to him.
They're so fast, those cars, though. Eh? Not like your Volvo.
I don't have a Volvo.
Oh, Dickie has a Volvo.
Does he?
That's
Yeah,
right. He's got
okay.
3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Well, taking a look at the weather across the country now, mostly sunny and warm for Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Sydney and Canberra.
A cold front heading towards the southeastern corner of the country is bringing some cloud to Melbourne and a few showers for Hobart and Adelaide.